Hello everyone, my name is Shima. Now, I'm a very beautiful girl. I have long black hair, huge brown eyes, and an amazing figure. Men always look at me wherever I go. I'm not proud of my appearance. I don't think it's the main thing. Each girl should be educated so that in the future she can be independent. It's very important. My family does not share my views. They believe that the main thing is family. In their opinion, a woman can be happy only if she has many children, a big house, and a rich husband. Everything else does not matter at all. And you do need to learn, but not at school, but from your mom. Learn how to cook and serve guests, how to remove different stains, and how to stay a calm wife when you have 10 children. Every time I think it's not manageable, I look at my mom and understand that it is possible. But at what cost? Obviously, there is not 10 of us in the family, but there is enough. 3 kids and 2 adults. Plus, we need to take care of my grandma, even though she lives separately from us. My mom is busy from mornings until late at night, and she still has to be in a good mood and look great, otherwise my dad will not be happy. At the same time, he constantly nags her about the fact that she does not earn money and sits at home. It seems to me that this is a terrible life, and I don't want the same one. I tried my best to study well and get a college scholarship, and I think I can do it. And then, hello, independent life and no marriage. I will finally live as I want to. So, I took my high school exams. I had my graduation day one day, and my whole family came to congratulate me on getting a good grades at school. I looked at them from the podium and saw among them a man I did not know. He was older, gray-haired, and looked like a professor. I had not seen him before. He watched me very closely, and I was curious who it was. When we got home, I saw that my mother was very upset. I thought it was because of my grades, but I still did not understand why she wasn't happy for me. I wanted to talk to her about it, but she burst into tears and left. I was shocked. What kind of mom does that after her daughter's graduation? Yes, we have different views, but it's not the way to do it. Do your parents sometimes behave strange as well? What do you do about it? Well, the next few days were no less strange. I waited for a letter from college and relaxed, but the atmosphere in the house was very tense. I saw that my mom was upset and my dad was annoyed, and I heard that they were fighting, but no one wanted to discuss it with me. Everyone was silent and just avoided my questions. A week later, guests came to our house. They spoke in an unfamiliar language, looked at me attentively, and among them was that very man. My dad seemed very happy, and my mom was sad, but she set the table and served the food. And when everything was ready, only the men remained at the table, and my dad sent us to a different room. The woman who came with this man also came with us. They began to look at all my moves, even into my mouth, and touched me. They did not stop talking, but I did not understand them. Then the eldest of them pointed at the tea and said something, and I realized that I needed to pour her tea, and then she shook her head approvingly. Before leaving, that man talked to the women and gifted me a gold bracelet. I did not understand what was going on. I had a feeling that these people viewed me as a commodity, but for what? I asked my parents, and my mom started crying again, and my dad just said it wasn't my concern. But from then on, I could not leave the house alone, wear shorts or skirts, and I had to gain 10 kilograms of weight. 10 kilos! But why? It was a shock to me. What was going on? But no one spoke to me still, and I was just sent to my bedroom. It was the happiest day of my life. I got a letter from college, and I did not just get in, but I also got a scholarship. It was amazing. Up until the moment when I had to inform my parents about it. Dad said it did not matter and that now I had to think about something else. For example, learning a new language and getting ready for a wedding. What? I was shocked. What wedding? I was not going to get married and wasn't even dating anyone. But Dad said that decent girls shouldn't date anyone because no one besides their parents can organize their life. I thought I was finally understanding the situation, but I couldn't believe it. It would be better if it were not true. The man who came to us was my fiancé. Those women who watched me were his wives. Yes, he's 70 years old, has 2 wives, and he decided to marry again. He's my dad's business partner, and he's been looking at me for a long time. He was waiting for me to finish school. It's absurd. I was against it. I began to tell my dad that it was impossible, that he could not decide my fate, and that I would run away from the house if he did not change his mind. He listened to me in silence and said that he already decided everything. He pushed me into my bedroom, and I heard the lock click. It was it. All my dreams have been shattered. It was awful. The first couple of days, I just cried and refused to go out and eat. My mom begged me to obey, but it pissed me off so much that I told her everything I thought about her life and these stupid rules. She just left. I was left all alone. My life was destroyed. One day, I decided that I should at least check my mail. I opened my email and began reading. My classmates were doing okay, and many went off to uni and were looking for roommates, talked about what to take to college, and invited me to their online chats. All this was no longer relevant to me. Among the letters was one from Dan. He liked me back in school, and we even got into the same college. He wanted us to go there together. I don't know why, but I told him everything that was happening to me, and he answered. Our messages were like a breath of fresh air for me. After all, the wedding prep was underway, so it was unbearable for me to be at my house, and I was ready to flee to a different side of the world. But I couldn't run away. I was locked up. Those women came every day and watched me. On that day, everyone came, and the official wedding ceremony was to take place. They covered my head with some fabric and set me down in a corner. I couldn't see anything, and everyone was talking, laughing, and I was crying. Suddenly, I heard some noise. Someone was pounding at the door, and then he ran into the room, and silence fell. My dad asked, "Who are you? Why did you come here?" And then I heard Dan's voice. He began to tell that we were friends and secretly went on dates and even kissed, and overall, we loved each other and even wanted to get married. I jumped up. What? This is not the case. I wanted to shout that he was lying, but suddenly a man spoke up, and in the language that I understood, he accused my dad of lying and said that he had raised me badly, and I was not worthy to be his wife. His wives began to shout and swear, and Dad said that this was all lies, and he did not know this guy at all and will kick him out. He wanted everyone to calm down. But at that moment, I jumped up. I realized that now I had a chance to get away from a terrible marriage. I ran up to Dan and kissed him. I began to say that I loved him and I could not live without him, and agreed to marry him. And then something happened that I did not expect at all. Dan took out a ring and proposed to me. I was shocked, but it was too late to back down. I said yes and took the ring. After that, my father yelled at me, and then he kicked me and Dan out into the street and said that I was no longer his daughter. It was all very scary. When we were outside, Dan smiled, hugged me, and said that he always dreamed that I would become his wife, and he was ready to do anything to make it happen. At that moment, I realized that I was trapped again. Well, what do you guys think? Did Dan save me or just achieved his goal? Let me know down in the comments. What is a mother's love? Many of you will say that this is the most wonderful and sincere feeling on earth, and I agree with you. But I've only ever read books and watched movies about this kind of love. Sadly, I've been brought up in an orphanage since my birth. As a very small baby, I was left at the door of the orphanage. I was less than a month old, and I was very thin and hungry. The caregivers named me Isabella, but soon enough, I was just called Bella. Life in the orphanage was okay for me. We woke up early in the morning, did exercises, ate, studied, and then helped with cleaning and washing. We lived as one big family, but on a schedule, like in a camp. I had good friends and mates. Yes, we were not actual family, but considered ourselves brothers and sisters. We were sincerely happy when someone was adopted, cried, and waved goodbye, sadly seeing them off. Each of us wanted to find a family and to have a mother. In the orphanage, we were looked after, brought up as good people, taught wisdom, but this could not replace a real family. I kept a diary in which I wrote all my experiences, dreams, and hopes. At the end of each page, I left, "I want to find my mother." After that, I would tightly squeeze the diary and fall asleep. I did not know anything about my parents, who they were, where they came from, and why they did this to me. I was offended, angry, but deep down, I dreamed of finding and hugging them. Years passed. And one New Year's Eve, the orphanages in our city were all invited to an event with the president. We were so excited. They promised a cool day with performances from celebrities, artists, and many, many gifts. All kids loved the new year very much because on this special day, we were surrounded with care and attention from everyone. The day of the event had come. There were 2 large buses parked at the orphanage. We got inside and cheerfully went to the event. All the way there, we sang songs, told funny stories. When we arrived, we saw a huge Christmas tree near the concert hall. Its lights glittered and fascinated everyone around. It was incredibly beautiful. At the entrance of the building, there were food stands with sweets, popcorn, and soda. A little further down, there was a stand with books, with different comics and magazines as well. I ran there, had my cash ready in my hands, and was just reaching for a comic book when I suddenly saw some lottery tickets there. On them, it said, "Let the new year fulfill your most exciting dream." After some time thinking about it, I took one ticket and handed the money to the seller. I so sincerely believed in the New Year miracles. Pressing the ticket to my chest, I repeated to myself, "I want to have a mom." The seller began to carefully scratch the ticket with a coin, starting from the last number. I got a 0, then another, and another. Having sighed, I realized that it would be just zeros, and a New Year miracle did not happen to me. And then, unexpectedly, the seller's face changed. He looked at me in amazement and shouted at the top of his voice, "1 million! You won a million!" Everyone, both my friends and our caregivers, looked around at me. They all ran up to me and took my ticket in surprise, not believing in my win. I was so excited, I couldn't help it. And I did not even think about the money, about such a large amount. I just realized that it would bring me closer to having a mom and a family. A company representative that did the lottery came and handed me a certificate. We took a photo, and the next day, everyone was talking about the girl from the orphanage who won $1 million. I firmly decided to find out where my family is and asked my caregivers to help me with this. As you can imagine, before then, I would not have been able to make it all happen without the money, because hiring detectives, digging through archives, searching, no one would help me for free. While the caregivers were looking for any information, a woman came to our orphanage and introduced herself as my mother. I remember that moment. Miss Linda ran into our bedroom and screamed that my mother had come for me, picked me up, and held me up with joy. Without wasting any seconds, I ran into the hall where my supposed mother was waiting for me. A beautiful, middle-aged woman appeared before me. She smiled timidly, like she was embarrassed to be here. Seeing me, she rushed to greet me and hugged me tightly. I started crying, but I did not really understand what to do. Yes, I dreamed of this meeting all my life. But as it turned out, I was not mentally ready for it. We went into a family room where I started asking my mom about myself. She spoke in general terms, which alarmed me a little. She said that she could not raise me at the time, that she was alone without a husband, that there was nowhere to live, and that she could not keep her child. I don't know why, but there was no honesty in her words, and as I looked at her, I could not see any resemblance. Yes, I technically could be like my dad, but I just did not feel that she was my real mother. And then, unexpectedly, another woman came into the family room. She ran up to me and screamed, "Daughter, daughter!" with tears in her eyes. To say that I was surprised is to say nothing. I dreamed of seeing my mom, and now there were two at once. I wondered what would happen next, and I got suspicious that no one of these women was my mom. They were just women who found out about my lottery win and wanted to adopt me because of the money. All the fun began when the second woman saw the first. They began to swear and accuse each other of lying, giving evidence that it was her who was telling the truth and the second one was a liar. At first, it was funny to me, but then I began to understand that this was not how I imagined meeting my mom, and these women ruined the moment that I dreamed of. Realizing that I had nothing to do here, I fled to my bedroom. I began crying, not understanding why it was me. Was it really possible to say such lies without thinking of the child's feelings and experiences? How is it possible to come here out of selfish reasons and pretend to be a good person? After a while, our caregiver came to me. She looked sadly into my eyes and said that the woman had left, but another one came in. I simply refused to go. I could not handle another scene, but the caregiver told me to come down since this woman had proof of my origin. When I went down to the hall, I saw a woman. She smiled at me and asked me to listen to her. Her name was Laura, and she introduced herself as my aunt. She told me exactly when I was born and even what blanket I was wrapped in. And then she sadly said that for many years, my mom had been lying motionless. Nobody knew that she was pregnant at the time. When this became apparent, my mom's father kicked her out of the house without any things or money and forcefully made the whole family not to communicate with her. Everyone was afraid of the dad and followed his orders, and my aunt cried telling me that as soon as I was born, my mom had nowhere to live. And even after the birth of his granddaughter, Grandpa did not take her back to the house. My mother slept at the station, begged for money, but realized that I would not survive in such conditions, and therefore she left me in the orphanage. She returned to the streets again, where she became very ill, and since then she'd been living with my aunt, who had gotten married and left her family home by that time. My mom was very sick, and there was no money for her treatment. She was always in her bed and cried every day. My aunt said that all this time they thought that I was adopted and did not want to interfere with my life. But when they saw me in the newspapers, they immediately realized that I was that very girl. I was an exact copy of my mom in her youth. I hugged my aunt and said that I wanted to see my mother, and the caregivers let me go for a couple of hours. I went up to the bed where my mother was lying and I hugged her tightly. She began to cry bitterly and ask for forgiveness. She asked me to understand her. And after I found out the whole truth, I did not hold a grudge against her. She just couldn't keep me. 6 months have passed and my aunt has gotten all the documents and I still live with her, but I'm looking for a cozy small house for my mom and I. The money that I won, I spend wisely. My mom is going through treatment and there are improvements. I gave some money to the orphanage where I grew up because if not for the people there, what would have happened to me? It's scary to think about it. Life goes on. Dreams come true. And you guys too should believe that all your dreams will come true.